Okay, so what I want to show you now here is something that's called when we're parenting objects to others. So sometimes you might find it useful that if you make a change to one object, you want that change to happen to other objects, right? Let's just say you have like a shelf with a line of books on them, right? You want to have one book. You don't want to go through and make manual adjustments on every single book. So let's just say, yeah, I'll use this here for as an example. So let's say we have multiple objects, okay? And we want to make one of these the dominant object, right? So here in the outliner, you see we have cube 1, cube 2, cube 3, and you can rename these here. Let's just say these are books. All right. Oops. Book 2, book 3, okay? And let's say we want to make these books all leaning, right? And we want to make one of these the dominant book. So what you can do is here in the outliner, if you click on, so book 2, and then with the middle mouse button, I'm going to hold the middle mouse button and drag it up to book 1. Okay. Now you see this little plus icon that opened up here. This means that book 1, here I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click on book 3. I'm going to click the middle mouse button so I get that green icon and drop that off there. So now you only see the one book, but if I open this up, you can see there's little divisions here, book 2, book 3. Now what this means is that book, this book right here is become the parent book essentially. So you see when I click on this, it clicks on everything here, or it highlights everything. If I click on just this middle one, it only selects that book, and same thing with this book. Now what this can do is it can make your life easier by allowing you to make one change to the parent and all the changes will happen to the children more or less, right? So see if I have this book here, if I move this, I'm going to turn this grid snapping off actually. So if I move this, it moves all of them, but I can still independently move these, right? So here, I'll move these kind of all in a row. So these I can move individually, but they're paired to the master here. They're paired to the parent. And this works with rotating as well. Basically anything that I want to do. I'm going to talk next week about manipulating this pivot point. I don't want to overload you too much with stuff, but we can make this so they all work, they all pivot, right, independently, but we can move this pivot point around it. But you can see as I'm rotating this, right, I can come in and rotate these individually, but like I said, anything I do to the parent here will affect the other two. And I can do this in terms of scale as well, right? This can be helpful. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'll find ways to make this helpful. And then up here at the top, there's different selection methods that will be helpful. So right now, we're on object selection right here. Select object by type, right? So what that means is when I select an object, it's going to select the object. Now I can go to this, which is the component. So this means it's going to go, I mean, this is essentially just like when I was holding down right click to find it, but this lets me choose, right, the edge, the face, and then this right here, this is by hierarchy or this is by parent. So if I have this method selected, that means that anything I select, if it's paired with other objects, either as the parent or the child, if you will, then it'll select all the objects, right? So again, so individual object selecting here, right? Individual object selecting, but notice when I selected this one, right? Because it's a parent, it selected everything, okay? If you want to undo this, you can just open this up and you can click and hold the middle button and just drag it out, right? Oh, where'd it go? Oh, I paired that to the, yeah, you can just drag it out, right? Click and hold, drag it out, and now they're all independent from each other with no parent, okay? Okay, more to come.